Does arm lock putting work? Well, yes. Have a look at Bryson, he's done a pretty good job of it. But is it cheating? Yes. No. Well, of course it isn't. It wouldn't be allowed, would it, if it was cheating? But is it cheating, really? Because it does lock in a third location point. You see, when we did belly putter, there was 1, 2, 3 connection points. And then when we do arm lock, there is 1, 2, 3 connection points. Now, I've got much less of an issue with this, even if it's connected here, because there's still only 1, 2 connection points. Obviously, this putter's a little too short, but there's much less of an issue going on here if this is connected to the chest than I have here with this connected to the arm. But it's allowed, and that's the difference. The rules say that if you connect the club to the arm below the elbow, then it's allowed. It's still anchoring. Shout out to the USGA and the RNA. It's still anchoring, and that's the bit that I have an issue with. This is not anchoring. How on earth can your hand attached to your chest be deemed to be anchoring if there's only 2 points of contact when this isn't? Now, look, this has gone on a long time now, but we talk about the issues of if the hand is connected to the body, really does it make that much difference? Do these players win that much more? And the key is no, but it does allow them to be more competitive. It's a little bit like saying, well, you know, this grip then should be outlawed because Scotty's turned into a better putter because of it, and he's, you know, retained his world #1 status because of the putting grip, this claw grip. That would be just, let's find a way of stopping everything from being a little bit different from conventional. That means we could never do this. But I could ultimately look at any different way of putting and tell you why it's flawed and why it works, because I'm not just going to throw the critical hand grenade in there and not tell you why it works. But there's something about the arm lock that works, and we oftentimes walk away from it. Now, look, will the RNA and the USGA determine that at some point it will need to be outlawed? Maybe, but they're the governing bodies, so, you know, they don't want golf balls to go as far now for us mere mortals, do they? And I'm just saying that. We're the ones that are going to suffer. You and I are the ones that are going to suffer, not the tour players. They're going to lose such a small fraction of distance on their shots that it's not going to make that much difference to them. But you and I are going to notice this golf ball rollback, and I don't think that's fair. Maybe a video for another time where we can have a rant about the ball. But the custodians of the game seem to like to take things off us rather than give us things that work. Okay, so this arm lock principle, getting that shaft forward, notice that the arm and the club is in a straight line. This is a good moving mechanical principle. Are the shoulders nice and square? They can be. And that, when you see down the line then, if the chest is square, the shoulders will be square, and if that's the case, then the putter can move back and forward in a straight line. And although, if you're looking down the line, you'll see a couple of balls down the left-hand side, if the path is straight and the face is square, your ball's going towards the target. With the appropriate speed, it'll go into the target hole location as well. So why does this work? Well, it works on a number of bases, but there's no breakdown, you say. Well, if you're trying to putt with your hands, you know, then it's much more difficult to break things down. If you're trying to putt with your chest, in other words, that you're into rotation in the backswing and then into rotation in the forward swing with a little lift of the left shoulder at the end of the backswing here, all right, left shoulder's gone down for sure, now it's got to come up, up. The face is square, the path is straight, the ball's on its way to the target. So it works. But do we need to go through the peculiarities of this? And more importantly, what happens if the RNA and the USGA decide that at the end of this year, and it won't happen that quickly, but if they were to do so, that we weren't going to do arm lock anymore? Well, let's take the obstacle out of the equation and have a look and see if there's anything happening that may be slightly different. All right, so the hands and the shaft and the arms are slightly different set. There's the arm lock position. All that we're doing is setting up with the shaft pointing to the left ear. And then from there, as long as we keep everything working towards the target, the golf ball's on its target line because of the relatively straight path and the square face. And with the appropriate speed, it'll go into the hole. So this setup position is very, very similar, except we're not using the shoulder, we're using the ear. So a little less aggressive, which means we don't have to have as much loft on the putter. A little less handle lean, shaft lean, if you will, going forward, which means that, you know, it's a little bit easier on us, okay? So the arm lock method has more loft on the club. Now, arm lock putters typically will have somewhere between 6 and 9 degrees of shaft lean, depending on where you want to set your position up. A lot of folk don't realise this, which is why I'm sharing it with you, that they can work, but you've got to have the right amount of loft on the club at the point of impact. That's going to be governed by the amount of shaft lean, depending on where you set the shaft lean up to. So that's why the arm lock putter can work. It also shows you one of the reasons why the pass method is helping golfers to keep the handle working towards the target, because we have a forward pivot point, not a vertical pivot point. And this is what the difference is ultimately with a lot of players. They start with the putter pointing more towards the center of the body. There's a little bit more cup in this wrist, and then there's room for that to break down. The other element is look at the shoulders now, all right? The left arm and the right arm are no longer the same length. The arm lock works because both arms are the same length. And the training method that we go through and the principal method of the pass stroke is in good posture, your lead shoulder is high, which means that the arm can be extended as well as the trail arm. So as much as they're not straight, they are, all right, but they're extended, relaxed, extended straight as against bolt straight. Note the positions now, the hand on the club. The difference between the left hand and the right hand's around about 3 to 4 inches, and as a consequence of that, there's a height difference in the shoulder. That height difference then facilitates the setup, and you could easily see an arm lock hold versus a conventional hold. So when we're in this position here, we're looking for both arms to be the same length, because down the line you will see that the chest is nice and square, which of course the chest is going to govern the path of the club. So if we move in this manner, path will be straight, face will be square, and the ball will be heading towards the target. So the arm lock is not cheating, but it is legally assisting you in the manner that's going to help you with your putting. But if you don't want to go down that route, then you need to contact me so that I can help you with your putting. I'd love to do that. And in the first instance, I'm not even going to charge you. If you'd like to have a little chat about it, then you can hit me up on the phone number via WhatsApp that you've seen running across the bottom of the screen. You can also hit me at golf@andygorman.com. There is also a link in the description which will send you to the putting program. And ultimately, you can fill in the form, and then I can get back to you and help you with your putting. It's a simple form. Just hit me up on that, or send me an email, or send me a WhatsApp message, and I'll gladly get back to you. We'll have a little chat, and I can help you with your putting. This could be the best season you've ever had if you come across to the pass, the putting and short game specialist. Andy Gorman signing out. Thanks for watching. I will catch up with you in the next video. In the meantime, roll them pure.